Hello everyone and welcome back to SimpleSpeak English. My name is Mark and I'm here with my co-host and good friend Lily, and we're really happy you're spending your time with us today.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us. We're always excited to be here with you. And today's topic is something that almost every English learner thinks about at some point in their journey.
Yes, we're talking about why your English isn't improving, even when you feel like you're studying a lot and working hard.
And if you feel stuck, confused, or frustrated with your English right now, please know that you are not alone, because so many people feel exactly the same way.
That's true, and the good news is that there are clear reasons why this happens, and when you understand those reasons, you can finally start making real progress.
So relax, take a deep breath, and just listen slowly. You don't need to understand every word, and you don't need to be perfect. Just enjoy the conversation and let your English grow naturally.
Lily, I remember when I was learning another language, I felt exactly like this because I was studying a lot, but I wasn't seeing the results I wanted.
Me too, and I remember thinking, why am I still making the same mistakes even after all this studying? And it was really frustrating.
It really is frustrating, and many people start thinking, maybe I'm not good at languages, but most of the time that's not true at all.
Exactly, and usually it's not about talent or intelligence, it's about habits and the way people are learning.
So let's talk about the first big reason why many people don't improve, which is that they study English, but they don't actually use English in real life.
Yes, this is huge because people watch YouTube videos, they listen to podcasts, they read grammar books, and they memorize vocabulary, but they almost never speak or write in English.
And learning a language without speaking is like learning to swim without going into the pool, because you can watch swimming videos all day, but you still can't swim until you get in the pool.
That's a perfect example. And the same thing happens with English, because you have to use the language, even if it feels scary at first.
And of course you will make mistakes. You might say the wrong word, use the wrong grammar, or forget what you want to say, but that's completely normal.
Yes, mistakes are not a problem. They're actually a good sign, because they mean you're trying, and trying means you're learning.
If you wait until your English is perfect to start speaking, you will wait forever, because perfection doesn't exist.
That's why I always tell students, your English is already good enough to start speaking today.
I always ask my students, when was the last time you actually spoke English out loud? And many of them look at me and say, last month, maybe?
Yes, and sometimes they say, I speak English in my head every day. And I'm like, that's great, but your mouth doesn't know that yet.
Exactly. Your brain and your mouth need to become friends.
Right now, they're not even on speaking terms.
Right. They're like strangers on a bus, sitting next to each other, not talking.
Another big reason people don't improve is translating everything in their head, which is something almost everyone does at the beginning.
Yes, people think in their native language first, and then they try to change it into English, and this makes speaking very slow and stressful.
And you can see it on people's faces, because they stop, they think, they look up, and they feel stuck before they finally say something.
So what should people do instead of translating word by word?
They should start learning English in phrases, not single words, because when you learn full phrases, your brain starts using English automatically.
For example, instead of learning the word help, learn phrases like, can you help me? Or I need help, or thank you for your help.
And when you use these phrases again and again, you slowly stop translating and English starts coming out naturally.
I remember one student who wanted to say, I'm tired, but he first thought in his language, then translated it word by word, and finally said something like, I am very much tireded.
Tireded is my new favorite word.
It was creative English.
And honestly, we understood him.
Exactly. That's the point.
But if he had learned the phrase, I'm tired, as a full idea, he wouldn't need to translate anything.
And he wouldn't invent new grammar.
Although invented grammar is kind of fun.
Another reason people don't improve is focusing too much on grammar, which is something I see all the time.
Yes, grammar is important, but grammar alone will not make you fluent, because many students know all the grammar rules, but they still can't have a simple conversation.
That's because they're afraid to make mistakes, and they think, is this the right tense? Is this correct? And by the time they finish thinking, the conversation is already over.
I had a student who stopped in the middle of a sentence and said, wait, I need to think about the tense. And after 30 seconds, he forgot what he wanted to say.
Yes, the grammar brain attacked.
Exactly.
That's when grammar becomes the enemy.
Grammar should help you, not stop you.
Real conversations don't wait for perfect grammar.
Life doesn't wait for perfect grammar either.
Another common problem is listening to the wrong kind of English, especially textbook English.
Yes, because textbook English is not how people really talk in real life.
In real life, people speak fast, they use short forms, and they say things in simple ways.
So if you only study from books, real conversations will feel very hard and very confusing.
That's why podcasts, YouTube videos, movies, and real conversations are so helpful, especially slow and clear podcasts like this one.
Thank you for the nice marketing, Mark.
You're welcome.
Another big reason people don't improve is studying without a clear system, because many people study very randomly.
Yes, one day they study grammar, the next day they study vocabulary, then they stop for 3 days, and then they start again, and it's very inconsistent.
And random learning gives random results, which is something I always say.
So what should people do instead?
They should create a simple daily routine that is easy to follow and not complicated at all.
For example, you can listen to English for 15 minutes, speak English for 5 minutes, and learn 5 new phrases every day.
That's it. And small habits like this, done every day, are much more powerful than studying for 3 hours once a week.
Consistency is more important than intensity.
Another big problem is fear, especially fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding stupid, and fear of being judged by others.
And this fear stops many people from speaking, which means they don't practice and then they don't improve.
But the truth is that nobody becomes fluent without making mistakes. And mistakes are actually a good sign because they mean you're trying, and trying means you're learning.
Every mistake makes your English stronger, even if it doesn't feel like it at the time. People always think native speakers will laugh at their mistakes.
But most native speakers are just happy you're trying.
Yes, and half the time they're thinking about what they're going to eat for lunch.
They're not thinking about your grammar.
They're thinking, should I get pizza or tacos?
And honestly, tacos usually win.
Another reason people don't improve is learning too many words and then forgetting them.
Yes, many learners memorize long vocabulary lists, but they never use those words in real life.
So they forget them very quickly, which is really frustrating.
Some students learn words like nevertheless and furthermore, but they don't know how to say, I'm hungry.
Yes, they sound very fancy, but very hungry.
Nevertheless, I require food.
That's advanced hunger.
Learn simple, useful words first.
Another mistake is comparing yourself to others, which can be very dangerous for your motivation.
People see perfect English on YouTube or social media, and they feel bad about themselves.
But they don't see the years of practice, the mistakes, and the struggles behind that perfect English.
Everyone learns at a different speed, and your only competition is your past self.
If your English is better today than last month, you're doing great.
Another problem is not having clear goals, because saying, I want to be fluent is not a clear goal.
A better goal is something like, I want to have a 5-minute conversation in English, or I want to understand podcasts without subtitles.
Clear goals give you direction and help you stay motivated.
Another reason people don't improve is stopping and starting, which is something so many learners do.
Yes, they study very hard for 1 week, they feel motivated, and they think, this time I'm really going to improve my English. Then they stop studying for 2 weeks, they feel guilty about it, and they tell themselves they will start again tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes.
It's much better to study a little every day, even 5 or 10 minutes, than to study a lot for 1 week and then stop completely.
Another mistake is not enjoying the process, because if learning feels like a punishment, you will eventually quit.
Find content you enjoy, like movies, music, podcasts, stories, or topics you love.
When learning is fun, it's much easier to stay consistent.
Another mistake is not repeating enough, because many learners think repetition is boring.
But repetition is how your brain learns, and it's actually very important. Listen to the same podcast again, watch the same video again, and repeat the same phrases again and again.
Another big problem is lack of confidence, because people think their English is bad, so they don't speak, and then they don't improve.
Confidence comes from action, and the more you speak, the more confident you become.
Another mistake is learning English only in your head, because you need to use your mouth too.
Speak out loud, even if you are alone. Talk to yourself and describe what you are doing.
I always tell people, talk to yourself in English.
And they say, that's weird.
And I say, you're already weird. Just be weird in English too.
Exactly.
Describe what you're doing, like, I'm making coffee, I'm washing the dishes, I'm very bad at cooking.
Especially that last one.
Another reason people don't improve is expecting fast results, because learning a language takes time.
There is no magic method.
No secret shortcut.
Progress is slow but steady, and that's okay.
Another problem is giving up too early, because many people quit just before they start improving.
They think they are not talented, but talent is not the main thing. Consistency is.
Another reason people don't improve is learning alone, because learning with others is more fun and more effective.
Find a speaking partner, join a group, and practice together.
Another problem is not reviewing old material, because you learn something new, but then you forget what you learned last week.
Review is very important if you want to remember things long term.
Another reason is not having patience, because fluency comes slowly, little by little.
Learning English is not a straight line.
It's more like a roller coaster.
Sometimes you feel great.
Sometimes you feel terrible.
Sometimes you think, wow, my English is amazing.
And the next day you think, do I even know English?
That's normal.
That means you're learning. Lily, be honest. How long did it take you to feel comfortable in your second language?
Too long.
Very specific.
I'm still not done.
So you're saying learning never really ends?
Exactly. Welcome to the club.
So what should people do now if they really want to improve?
First, start using English every day, even if it's just a little.
Second, stop translating in your head and start learning phrases.
Third, focus on real English, not perfect grammar.
Fourth, listen to real conversations as much as possible.
Fifth, create a simple daily routine.
Sixth, stop being afraid of mistakes.
Seventh, set clear goals.
Eighth, repeat and review often.
Ninth, enjoy the process.
And finally, be patient and kind to yourself.
If you want to improve your English, start small.
But stay consistent.
You don't need to be perfect.
You just need to be brave.
Thank you so much for listening to SimpleSpeak English.
We're really proud of you for learning today.
If you enjoyed this episode, please follow us and share it with a friend.
And remember,
No fear, just speak.